My name's Ivan, and I'm the Children and Youth Director here at Anderton Baptist Church. And we're on day 3 of a series of devotions I've called How Great Is Our God. I thought I would switch things up just a little. We're not going to be talking about elephants and their trunks. We're not going to be talking about the hair on our heads. We're not going to be talking about the sun and the stars. But what I thought I would talk about is a bit about my story and how God and how great He has been to me and to my family. Christy and I left Zimbabwe 8 years ago last Sunday to move to England. Our story is one that we hope brings hope and encourages people, certainly not to make anybody feel sad or upset. And actually, our story started at a crisis point. Christy and I knew 8 months into our marriage, we didn't have any options left but to come to England. We had tried everything to stay where we were, and we kept asking God, how do we stay? How do we make Zimbabwe work for us? We'd gotten to the point where our finances were coming to an end, which meant that our accommodation would be coming to an end, and everything was at this tipping point. In this time, Christy had the foresight to apply for her Cypriot passport. And what could have taken forever actually took a relatively short time. And God had just at the right time made this passport appear into our lives. Right at this time where we needed to start making tough decisions and making tough calls. Once Christy had received a passport, we knew that we could potentially get a visa for myself. This visa should have taken between 4 to 6 months, when in actual fact it took 2 weeks. And we couldn't help but notice God at every step. We had tried in our own strength to stay where we were, but God had another plan for us. At each turn, we were trying to stay, and each turn God was saying, I need to move you. We couldn't see what was ahead. But at each point, and each crisis point that we thought we were facing, God said, look to me, I will take care of you. Our heart cry was to start a family. And with all the stresses and strains of Zimbabwe, we just knew that it wasn't something we could achieve. We felt we couldn't raise a family there with where we were and how we were coping. Christy and I moved over into England on July 12th, 2012. And for so many of you here in England, it was an exciting year. The Olympics, the Queen's Jubilee. For us, it was probably the most tragic year. We had to leave with 2 suitcases, a guitar, and a backpack. And we kept questioning God, what have we done wrong? We tried so hard at each point to make the right decisions and confessed every physical sin that we could think of, everything we'd said or not said. But God had just said, it's time to go. When we arrived, we were fortunate enough to move in with some really great friends, and they looked after us for a long time. We were still trying to find jobs and find security in jobs. And we were waiting for God to say, you have arrived. It was in March 2013 when we knew Faith was on her way, our little girl. Finally, an answer to prayer. Finally, we were seeing God answer us in this dark, dark period of our lives. Not that staying with our friends was dark in any means, actually it was really positive. But we were longing for our family. Faith came along, and we watched God bring her safely into the world, and at the same time show us how faithful He was. He's brought us job security. It had been so long since Christy and I knew what a steady paycheck looked like. And we were slowly starting to gain traction. As the years unfolded, we were going through some highs and lows, trying to be settled, trying to find our way in England, looking at other people, wondering why we were still so far behind, trying to encourage ourselves that actually we were just a couple of years behind. Everything's okay. At this time, Christy and I just felt that owning a home would just be not something very distant for us. And we just decided at this point that we would let go. Not because of anything that we didn't believe God couldn't do for us, but actually everything we had was in one place. God had already shown to us enough of Him, and we were happy with that. And it's not to boast or to brag, but to find peace. We knew, just looking at our little girl, how this had been our answer for so long, for our heart cry. She was growing up happy, not a care in the world, the attitude of a 14-year-old, as most of you who have kids know. God had already taken care of business for us and shown us how great He was, that He had heard us so long ago. This year, when so much chaos has been part of the beginning of this year, with the pandemic and everything shutting down, God once again showed us how great He was. A prayer that we decided to stop praying, God decided now was the time to answer, and He again revealed how great He was to us. Chris and I have been here 8 years on Sunday last, as I've said before. And we've had the privilege of journeying with some amazing people in our lives who have held us up and shown us how great God is in the smallest things, in the small prayers and in the big prayers. Not only has God journeyed with us and kept us safe and taken us out of crisis, but He has overwhelmed us with blessing. Now I know that so many of us are still waiting for our prayers to be answered. And I know that so many of us are devastated at this point in time. I want to encourage you to look up. I want you to know that God hears you. And although these prayers are seemingly going unanswered, God hears you. And although the timing just never seems to turn around for you, God hears you. How great is it that no matter what, when we feel we can't talk to anybody, that the one true constant in our lives has never left our side, that is always ready to listen. I hope this song that I've chosen will bless you as it has blessed us through the time. The song I've chosen for today is God of the City. It is a song that has held us up as we've tried to hold on to God, as we've tried to make our way in this chaotic world, and in our faith as we've journeyed with God. I look forward to spending the next couple of days with you, and I hope the session has blessed you. I look forward to seeing you again soon.